All right, so today we're going to be looking at some models for multiplying fractions by other fractions instead of fractions by whole numbers, which is what we've seen up until this point. But before we get into the fractional piece of it, I just want to talk a little bit about models of multiplying because I'm hoping that the two ideas will connect. Let's say I'm doing something like 2 times 3. I feel like I always use 2 times 3. It must be my favorite model. We know that it could be drawn like this, as in 2 groups of 3. Could also be done the other way, right? But this idea of knowing I got 2 over here and I got 3 over here, and that's how I know my answer is going to be 6. That's how I get my product. And we kind of move from this model over to like an area model where I draw a rectangle and I'm like, oh, that's 2 and that side's 3. Like, oh, I see why there's 6 boxes inside. And so the area of a rectangle is a really common way that we have been using, and you have certainly heard for many years, of showing multiplication. I say that because we're going to do the same thing, but using fractions. Okay, so just a quick review of kind of the difference between using linear numbers and the area of things. A reminder that this whole side is 1, right? So this is a fourth, and then this would be a half, and then this would be 3/4, and then I would get 1 over there. Sorry, my marker is very thick. And if I look, so that's the side. Also, same, funny. That would be the side length of 1, all right? But if we want to look at it, the area, we're going to need both today. If we're going to look at the area and we say that red thing is 1, then I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So then this becomes a 16th. Both of which we've talked about before, the fact that the side is being divided into 4 parts, but the area, the space in between, the little squares, are being divided into 16 parts. Yeah, and that's important for our conversation today. So let's draw my sides. Let's draw my rectangle here. 1/2 is going to be about yay big, and 1/4 is going to be down this way. So this would be my half, and this would be my fourth. And I'm going to complete my rectangle. And I just drew and illustrated that this is 1/16, right? So I've got 1, I've got 2. So my answer is 2/16. 1/2 by 1/4 gave me 2 of these guys. I would throw in there that 2/16 is not a fraction I like. I'm going to simplify that down to 1/8, just for what it's worth. All right. Let's take a look at this one on the right here. I've got 1/4. And this time on the other direction, I have 3/4. So 1, 2, and 3. There's my 3/4. Going back to the same model of 16ths, I got 1, 2, 3/16. Can I simplify that? Nah, 3 and 16 don't have anything in common except 1, so that doesn't help me out. All right, and as I take a look at this, this is a model, so this is a picture of why this is working. If I want to simplify this down into like a strategy or an algorithm, it's very straightforward. I'm going to skip this 2/16 because it's kind of in my way right now. And instead point out that, like, look, 1 times 1 and 2 times 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. There's my answer. Try it over here. I've got 1 times 3, and on the bottom, I've got 4 times 4. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 4 is 16. What do you know? Well, that is, in fact, my answer. So multiplying fractions is very, very straightforward. Because essentially we're using this idea of rectangles and just saying, just multiply the 2 numbers together. The numerators together make the new numerator, and the denominators together make the new denominator. All right, we'll continue this with two more examples. Because of the geoboards, I'm limited as to the fractions that I can use, but I do think it's a really strong connection back to our previous work with rectangles and multiplication and models. But there is another description, another model that we can use to represent this same idea in another way. But it'll help to be familiar with both. So in this one, I'm doing 1/4 times 1. Now, we should already know that the answer is 1/4 because multiplying anything by 1, even if it's a fraction, should still be just itself. But I'm curious as to what the model shows me. So there's my 1/4. And remember, the whole side length is 1. So there's my 1 whole. Not a very good line, but okay. And what's interesting is that a little plot twist here, because I actually got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're each 16ths. So that's 4 16ths. That was not what I was expecting. Until I realized, oh, I got to simplify this. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 1/4, as I predicted it would be. On the second one, what's interesting is, much like multiplying by 1, we're also really good at finding half of things. 3/4 doesn't lend itself to being like, what's a half of 3/4? Just like that happens all the time. I have 75 cents, and I'm like, I need half of this. But the picture, I think, still holds up. So I know I'm looking at a half. And this time I want 3/4 of the way down. So let's take a look at my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 16ths. Obviously, I'm looking to simplify that down, and I get 3/8. It kind of makes sense because we know that halves we know that half of fourths is eighths. If you think about a pizza, right? We know what a fourth of a pizza would look like. Well, eighths is what normal people eat. So if I got 3/4 and I take half of that, I'm going to have 3 pieces half as big. I'm going to get 3/8. Okay, that kind of stands up. I can test the algorithm here too. 1 times 3, that's my numerator. 2 times 4, that's my denominator. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. Still works. Still works. Like I said, there's a few different models that we'll use to kind of draw these fraction multiplication models, but I like this one on the geoboard as a starting place. It limits us to fourths, halves, 3/4, and 1/2, but I think we can see everything in 16ths once it's simplified down, why this strategy and model works.